mine was gone.
Oh, right, that had to go to do. There you go, there you go. All right. Okay, so guys, welcome to the square court of the Louvre. Now, this wasn't originally constructed as a museum. First, it was constructed as a fortress in the 12th century to protect the city of Paris. This is under Philippe Augustus. And then do you remember I mentioned in the 14th century this became the main residence for all the royalties of France. Henry IV is really the first king to have embellished it, added artwork to it, enlarged it. But then came around this very flamboyant king, known as the Sun King, Louis XIV. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this guy. He was a total fashion victim, worse than Marie Antoinette, this one. He's actually the one that invented heels for men. This is because he was absolutely obsessed with his calves. He thought they were wonderful, and every time he had to be depicted, they had to look long and skinny and beautiful. So every time he would get depicted, he would stand on his tippy toes like this, and this is how he then invented heels for men, so that his calves would always look long and skinny. So Louis XIV comes around, and he decides that Paris is not good enough for him. The Louvre is not good a residence enough for him. So he's the one that transfers the residence of the royalties to Versailles. So this is when the grand project of Versailles was undergone, so which only took 50 years to be constructed, which is crazy because the Louvre took 3 centuries and Versailles is 3 times as big, or 4 times even. And he moves actually in 1662 the entire court of Paris to Versailles. So Paris is totally abandoned. The Louvre is completely abandoned. Nobody pays any attention to it, to the extent that one of the rooftops whose completion hadn't even been terminated was just left to be as it was, to rain on the inside. So nobody was coming here. So this is when artists started coming to the Louvre and started squatting it, just hanging out here, making some art. And finally, the revolutionaries are actually the one who opened it as a museum in 1793. So it's open 3 times a week. You could walk in here for free and come visit the 537 works of art it already had to offer. And this actually already included the Mona Lisa at the time. So 537 works of art in 1793. In 2014, we have 35,000 works of art. This is not just the biggest museum of Paris, it's the biggest museum, period. It's huge, it's massive. Have any of you been here before? Yeah. No, none of you? Yes? How was did you enjoy your experience here? Yes, you didn't get lost or anything? That's good. That means you were good about your organization in the Louvre, because most tourists, what they do is that they come and they go, hey, I'm going to go to the Louvre today, casual, which is normal, because that's what most people would think. You have a museum, you want to go inside. And then you realize that you actually have to be organized about the Louvre. You really have to research in advance what it is you want to see and where they are in the Louvre, because I'm going to tell you something, you can't do the whole museum in one go. It is just impossible. Get that idea out of your heads, or else your experience in here will be an absolute nightmare, because you'll come in here and you'll start walking around casually for 1, 2, 3 hours. You'll start getting tired. You'll start realizing that you haven't seen a third of the things you originally wanted to see. Then you start getting fed up, you want to get out, and then all of a sudden you can't find the exit. This is the most recurring theme. Tourists can't find the exit. So then the Louvre transforms itself in this sort of, labyrinth nightmare. They're getting out. You actually see tourists exiting the Louvre like this. You can stand at the exit, look at them. In the Louvre, you see people taking naps, snoring, or people standing behind, like a marathon, like, wait, so stomping their feet like spoiled brats. I want to go. So I don't want you to be these guys. I want you to actually enjoy the Louvre. So really trust me when I tell you, take my advice. Research in advance what's in here. Decide what are the things you really want to see, so pick and choose, figure out where they are, so that you can come here, 3 to 4 hours and enjoy it and see everything you were meant to see, you wanted to see. So what you have 8 sections really in total, and to do one section, an entire section, is like doing an exhibition, so it'll take you minimum an hour and a half. So what can you see? All the antiquities. So you have an Etruscan antiquity section, an Egypt, Etruscan antiquity, Roman antiquity, Greek antiquity. You have an Egypt section, this is mainly a result of Napoleon's kleptomania. Okay, he loved stealing things, bringing them back to the Louvre. This will all be found in the Egypt section. You can visit Napoleon's apartment, so where he used to live in the Louvre. There's an Eugène de la Croix section, a very famous 19th century painter, and you have a graphic design section as well. And then you have my personal favorite one. It's a new wing that opened 2 years ago, the Islamic Arts Wing. It's fantastic. I definitely recommend that one. So lots and lots to see. So just remember, pick and choose. And remember something very important as well. Bear in mind that the architecture of the Louvre is in itself an incredible work of art. All you have to do is look around. This is really the result of every king that has lived through the Louvre. And proving that you were a great king always meant building, adding, constructing. So this is pretty much the result of the personal stamp of every royalty that has passed through the Louvre. So bear that in mind as you're walking around already.